Hello, Red Wave. Welcome to Beware of Bulldogs podcast. My name is Caleb. My co-host name is Caleb, and we're having a party talking about Fresno State sports. We're live on Twitter and YouTube Monday nights. We try to do it around 7. It is currently 7:18, so we're 18 minutes late, but it's usually my fault. So sorry about that. But you can tune in Monday nights around 7 on Twitter at Beware CSUF and on YouTube. That is at Beware of Bulldogs. You can, if you're an Instagram person, Beware of Bulldogs podcast. Caleb, thank you for joining me as always. How was your weekend? Give me a little recap on the weekend. Anything fun and exciting happen, or was it just?
No, weekend was pretty good. It was Cinco de Mayo on Friday, so I think I had tacos on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So, which is good. I mean, that's one of the best foods in the whole world is tacos. So, can't complain there.
Mm-hmm. I'm with you. For the first time, I had the Anaconda burrito.
Oh, how was that?
It was very good.
Okay.
And of course, margaritas.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see, I spent all day on the tractor today. Forgot my sunglasses. It looked like I got off the tractor. It looked like I had smoked a ton of weed. My eyes are so red. But we had a great time. Watched a lot of basketball, NBA playoffs.
Okay.
Who you got in the NBA playoffs?
Couldn't tell you who's playing. If the dogs aren't playing, I'm not watching. I mean, I think the Warriors are going against the Lakers right now, right?
Always a good bet. Yeah.
Okay. I'll take the Warriors because I'm not a huge LeBron guy. So
okay,
I'll go Warriors.
Yeah, as we speak right now, the Miami Heat just beat the New York Knicks, and I think they went up 3-1. I'm a huge Jimmy Butler fan right now.
Okay,
they're the 8 seed. I'm cheering for the Heat. And then Kentucky Derby. Watch the Kentucky Derby. I didn't have any money on it, but I thought I say we because this is the only thing that my wife will watch with me is horse racing.
Yeah.
We had picked Verifying to win. Came out hot and then blew it, but that's okay. It was a fun race.
Yeah.
Did you see what the video of Patrick Mahomes and the guy that bet on Patrick Mahomes, and he said, because of you, I lost millions of dollars?
No, I didn't see this.
Yeah, that's what he said in the video. You could catch what he said. And how nice would it be to bet millions of dollars on the Super Bowl or whatever you bet on it? But first off, why do you bet against Patrick Mahomes?
Yeah, I mean, especially with the track record now, and yeah, he's got a couple rings. So yeah, sometimes you just have to pick the favorite because there's a reason why they're the favorite, right?
Yep. All right. If you're in the comments section, leave your comments and questions down below, whatever it is. If you want to ask Caleb personal questions, go for it. He's ready. But we got a packed show for you. We're talking Fresno State players in the NFL because there's some new news and CFL, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to talk about NIL. We have some questions and we're just going to have a conversation about NIL. Caleb and I haven't had that heart to heart yet about NIL and collectives. We're going to talk about the baseball series over the weekend. The Dogs played Reno, Nevada, the Wolfpack. And then we're going to finish with some basketball transfers. We had some players come in, and we will touch on that. First things first, I have 2 things to get out there, Caleb. Bucket golf tournament, July 17th.
Nope, it's in June.
June 17th. My goodness. I'm in the winery. Change of scenery. I didn't drink any wine. I probably should say I did just to get away with that. June 17th, the Saturday before Father's Day. Bucket golf, you play with a wedge or an iron, hit it to a 5-gallon bucket. You don't have to hit it in. You just have to hit the bucket. But it is going to be June 17th, Saturday. Shotgun start, 9 a.m. Registration or check-in, I should say. Check-in starts at 8:30. You can sign up, get your tickets at bewareofbulldogs.com. Bewareofbulldogs.com. Go to shop merch, and the tickets will be in there. For an individual ticket, it's $30. For a team of 4, it's $100. And we're going to have an 18 whole course set up on some acreage that we tore out some vines here at the winery. So it's going to be at Givoli Winery out in the middle of a field, and we're going to have a good time. Ticket comes with swag bag, a glass of wine or beer, and then the round of golf. And then we will have snacks for everybody. And then if you stay till noon, the pizza shop opens up, so you can get brick oven pizza. It doesn't come with a ticket, but it's open. Oh, and last but not least, if you have questions, about the bucket golf, DM us or email us, bewareofbulldogspodcast@gmail.com, or DM us on any social. We also started a Discord, Beware of Bulldogs. So we're just going to be hanging out with the Red Wave on there, talking Fresno State. You guys can get on there. There's a room. We can actually talk to each other. There's a chat room where you could type. Sorry, Caleb, this is news to you. And we could update each other, throw in updates, and if you guys have rumors that you're hearing from your sources, throw it in there. Or if you have questions for us, I put up mailbag stuff, a bunch of good stuff. So that is what I also did over the weekend, Caleb. Set up.
Love it.
Okay, bucket golf, June 17th. Sign up at bewarebulldogs.com, and we're on Discord. So check out our Discord, Beware Bulldogs. Okay, Caleb.
Sweet.
With all that out of the way, let's talk Fresno State football. Kind of. Dontae Bull, first pick in the Canadian Football League. What are your thoughts on Dontae going number 1 overall?
I think it makes a ton of sense. And yeah, I'm kind of surprised that we didn't even think that this was an option for him, because, I mean, he's a Canada guy, and I mean, just his frame alone is something that I think Fresno State fans were excited about for like all 6 years that he was here. We're like, gosh, this guy's a monster. Like he could be so good. And then, obviously he was, a good tackle for the Dogs for a long time. And yeah, it makes a ton of sense there. I mean, number 1 overall pick, I guess that's a big deal. I have to imagine, there's, only a certain type of player probably wants to go up and play in Canada and, brave the elements. So, I guess you figure a guy coming from, who, hails from Canada is going to want to, possibly come home. So yeah, I'm really happy for him. And, hopefully he's able to recover well. And I guess we're Ottawa fans now. I guess we should check the rosters and see if there's any other former Fresno State players that are playing, because I know that there have been a couple, Dogs in the past that had, good careers in the CFL. Like I know Travis Brown played in there for a handful of years. And I remember Tristan Okpalago. I don't know how that name came to my head, but I remember he played in Canada for a couple seasons and did pretty well.
Yeah, I'm excited for Dontae. I'm sure, of course, the money in the NFL is great, but he's home and gets to play in front of family. Is it the Roughnecks?
The Ottawa Red Blacks.
Red Blacks. Okay,
Yeah.
with the R.
Okay, how many other CFL teams can you name?
The Calgary. Is it Calgary Stampede? Is that it?
Yeah, or Stampede or Stampeders, I think. Yeah.
Okay, close enough.
Yep.
That's probably it.
Okay. So I know that there's the Winnipeg Bombers, I think, is a team.
Okay.
Who else is there? There has to be a team in Toronto, right?
Gotta be.
Probably.
But
okay.
if you keep up with the NHL, I mean, Toronto Maple Leafs, they are choke masters, so they probably not. No, I don't know.
Anyways, happy for Dontae, and yeah, Bulldogs Bob right now saying congrats to Bull. He's a true dog. Yeah, definitely. Stuck around and definitely epitomized, being a Valley guy.
Yeah, just bit by the injury bug. Bummer. But hey, you get injured and go number 1 in the CFL. Can't complain too much. That's pretty good.
That's right.
Now, I don't know what the money is, though. We were talking about it before. We couldn't find it.
Well, yeah, I mean, I just looked up, like, the average salary is like $68,000 for the entire season. So, but it's interesting though, because it said like the team salary cap is like $4.3 million. So, so yeah, there's not a lot to go around if you're trying to field a 53-man roster. I don't know what their roster requirements are, but I mean, obviously you want to have some depth, right? Just to deal with injuries. So yeah, when your salary cap's only $4 million, you don't have a ton to go around.
Okay, Bulldog Bob's helping us out. There are 9 teams in the CFL.
Okay.
So, I don't. That's more. I'm learning new stuff every day. So,
Love it.
okay. Kevin Atkins, I should say, the Atlanta Falcons, big Fresno State fans.
Yeah.
They're bringing on Kevin Atkins and Cam Sutton for a little mini camp invite, and they're going to get a tryout. So, along with Michael Walker, and I know Tyler Davison used to play there. I don't know if he still does. Is he still there? Or is he with the Saints?
I think he's on the Saints. Was the last I heard.
Okay. So Atlanta, they're Bulldogs over there, but they're starting to grab some other Bulldogs. I think both have a good shot. They're both good athletes. When they were here, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I always really liked Atkins. I mean, he was a solid player for the Fresno State defense, and yeah, I mean, I know that he's been competing in the XFL right now, which I think has got to be good to stay in more of a game shape, because especially post grad for a couple years, it's got to be tough to try to break back into the NFL. So good for him, and hopefully he can stick there, or maybe put enough tape together and maybe get picked up to a practice squad somewhere, and hopefully get in the door. But yeah, I really like Atkins, and yeah, Sutton too, was just kind of freak athlete from what I remember. Just just an impressive looking guy. So yeah, we'll see. Is he still playing tight end? I should have looked that up.
Yeah, I mean, I would assume he's a big body, and but with Kyle Pitts there, that's going to be tough to get reps.
Yep.
I mean, if Pitts stays healthy,
right?
But yeah, he's a freak athlete, and I think he's got the body of a tight end still. I mean, if he got any bigger, I'm sure he got to the NFL. He's staying there, unless he's goal line, go jump ball, go get the jump ball. So I hope the guy's the best. Back to college football. Jaylen Henderson entered the transfer portal, has now committed to SEC, Texas A&M. And I believe DeRuyter is still there at Texas, or is he at Oregon?
He's that's what I heard. He was at Texas Tech.
Okay, well, tells you how much I keep up with what he's doing. So what are your thoughts on Jaylen Henderson signing with Texas A&M? And I'm sure he signed and got some money, NIL.
Sure. Yeah. Obviously, I'm really happy for him, and hopefully financially, should help him and his family out. Just from what we hear about the SEC, I mean, they have the deep pockets that can give NIL to a lot of players. So yeah, really happy for him there, and hopefully he gets an opportunity. I mean, he's certainly going to have to compete. I mean, if it's anything like his time at Fresno State, I mean, he's going to need to, work on accuracy and, command of the offense. And, I think in, more of a, I don't know. I mean, I don't even think Texas A&M is a quarterback run system. Like, I guess, back in the Johnny Manziel days they were, but that's a whole different coaching staff since then. So yeah, it'll be really interesting to see, if he's able to develop and break in there, because I'm sure they have a deep quarterback room. But yeah, wish him the best.
I think their quarterback, I could be wrong, was Haynes King for a time. They may have swapped quarterbacks in and out, but he's an athletic guy from what I can remember. Just Jimbo Fisher had too much going on, not the best play caller, or trying to do too much. That coach does the least with the most talent. So,
well, yeah, I mean, Jimbo's, best season, he did win a national championship with Jameis Winston, who, was a bigger bodied, mobile quarterback. So, yeah, I mean, maybe Jaylen kind of sees some of that physical, resemblance to, a Jameis, who is also on the Fresno Saints, or are we calling them the Fresno Saints or the Central Valley Saints, or the New Orleans Bulldogs, or what?
I like that one. I like that one.
So yeah, I mean, I think it makes sense, and I don't know if he publicly shared a whole lot of other offers. I'm sure he had some other interests if he was getting SEC interest, but yeah, I think it makes sense. So hopefully he can compete and maybe see the field, because obviously that's the goal for all these guys is to get on the field and hopefully make it to the next level.
Yeah, I actually think it's a pretty good fit. I didn't put 2 and 2 together until we were talking about running, and I think their quarterbacks kind of fit his mold and what he does. So it'll be interesting to see how he does and where he fits in and all of it. So, but good for Jaylen Henderson. But this leads me into NIL, Caleb.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot has been going on with NIL. It's all out of whack. People are entering the transfer portal just to see if they can make some money because they know it's out there. And then you get schools like Texas A&M and the SEC. I know Auburn signed Peyton Thorne from Michigan State. These SEC schools who have a lot of money, and Big Ten schools that have a lot of money, in what they call like these collectives. And if you don't know what a collective is, it's a bunch of private companies get together, and people donate their money to this collective, and then they take that money and send it out to whoever. So Fresno State's is called Bulldog Bread. It's but anyways, so with the NIL and the lack of regulation when it comes to NIL, Caleb, what are your overall thoughts? And you could take this any way you want when it comes to Fresno State trying to compete with these big schools who, in my opinion, could and most likely will separate themselves because of the amount of money they're able to spend on NIL.
Right. Yeah, I think my biggest fear as like Fresno State fan and like just Group of Five in general is, how do you protect against, an SEC school coming in like mid-season or like maybe not even like in the traditional like recruiting period and just come and try to poach players directly off your roster just by saying, hey, this is the number, you can come here and, we're not guaranteeing you a spot to play, but, this is, financially what we can do for you. And I mean, I don't know if Fresno State is going to be able to match every offer that comes in for every position. So, I mean, it's almost turning the, Group of Five into like, the farm system. But I mean, that's kind of what the transfer portal is doing too. I mean, a lot of guys are getting, offers to hire, I guess, better schools or, more powerful conference. So, yeah, I think that's one of my big concerns is, how do you protect against, I guess, tampering, to use like an NBA word, for like talking to players that are currently in season or, yeah, I don't know. What do you think about that?
They can do whatever they want to try and stop it, but they will not be able to.
Yeah,
it's going to happen. I think this is an NIL, but they're cracking down on betting now.
right.
We saw Iowa State. We were talking earlier about this. So they can do everything they can to grab control, but I think by allowing players to take control of where they go with the transfer portal and taking control of how much money they want to get, and giving players a lot of control, which is great. But also, what can happen is Colorado and the coach can come in and say, "You wanted this, okay? Now see ya. It's a job now, and I got my guys coming in." I wanted to bring up relating to Fresno State. We have the Bulldog Foundation, BDF, and then we have this Bulldog Bread now, which goes to the athletes in NIL. I could see a lot of BDF members pulling their money and sending it to Bulldog Bread and this collective. And I haven't heard anything, but I think that is happening. A lot of people pulling money and sending it towards athletics and NIL because it's guaranteed to go to. I mean, I believe BDF is towards athletics.
Yeah, I mean they fund like the general
athletics,
like scholarship fund.
Right. Now, if the collective can make enough money to pay everybody, then there's no point. Then they get the scholarship and then they get NIL, which most likely for most kids will be more than their check that they get from the scholarship.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering what happens with BDF at Fresno State. I I have no idea. I don't know how that stuff works, but it'll be interesting to see how these collectives take over, because I think they're going to. Now, we don't have the money, in my opinion, that SEC schools and Power 5 schools have to take over like that. But I think there will be a loss when it comes to the regular scholarship funds.
Right. Yeah, I think it also just adds an even like crazier dynamic for the coaches to manage in terms of like locker room, like peace in the locker room, because like obviously not all the guys are going to be, I guess have some sort of marketing deal or NIL deal. I mean, maybe there's some like baseline level where everyone's getting paid, a certain amount, but I mean, obviously there's going to be differences in the locker room with, what guys are making and what type of, endorsements they have. And so I feel like that's just another headache that the coaching staff is going to have to manage. And obviously if a player takes that, the wrong way, like if they aren't getting paid as much as maybe the guy that they just beat on the depth chart, how is that going to work out? And I mean, it's just going to,
I could see it. Tell me what you think about this. I could see it going almost like agent style. So where like, okay, the farm wants to, or the podcast, Boyer Bulldogs, we want to support this guy.
Mm-hmm.
And we donate a bunch of money to an NIL deal with this guy, and he's not getting a lot of playing time. Well, we could go then to, I don't know, the higher ups and say, look, or the collectives and say, look, we're not doing this anymore and we want our money back. I don't know if you could do that, but or we're not doing this ever again if things don't change, or then we tell the kid, hey, you should leave or something like that. I don't know. That's my first thought is all of a sudden now these businesses are acting as agents and telling kids or telling administration, look, we give the most money. He's ours. Play him.
Right.
Where initially I thought it might go the other way, where, they pay a bunch of money, then they don't play, and it'll kind of, the market will level itself out. Like, oh, we're not going to give that much money again because he didn't play. I mean, for football that might happen because Tedford's going to play to win. But if you don't have a coach like that, then what's going to happen? I don't know. Just interesting things to think about.
Well, and I mean, if the payment, I'm curious about the contracts too. Like, obviously, it's probably not lump sum payments that, the players are getting. So, if, a player, just doesn't live up to, what he's promised or, loses his starting spot, can the NIL or collective, can they, stop paying the athlete because, he's, not producing at a level where he needs to, and there's someone else where they can reward that player for, hey, congrats, you cracked the starting lineup. Here's an extra, X amount. That would be crazy, but I don't think that would happen, but that would be another crazy wrinkle.
Yeah, I think there needs to be a little bit more regulation. I don't like regulation. Let me get this clear. I hate regulation, but in some areas there needs to be a little bit.
Right.
We have to send criminals to prison, and we got to make sure that their NIL is not out of control. So, all right, Caleb, shall we move on?
Sure.
All right, we have baseball season still underway. We're getting close to the end. We have one more series left, but over the weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, the Dogs played Reno, Nevada, and they took 2 out of the 3. Mm-hmm. But it started off, we lost on Friday 8-4 with Eshawn on the mound. He got the loss. And to be honest, Caleb, I saw this and I thought, and I hate to say this, oh boy, that might be the season. But they came out and won the next 2.
Right. Yeah, I think I had the same feeling too. Like, man, like how does this keep happening to Eshawn? I mean, he's, the ace, and all things considered, he pitched well enough that, we should be in contention, pitched into the 7th inning and gave up 3 earned. And then Statzer came in and got roughed up a little bit. So just it's been like the last month of stats for Eshawn. Just can't quite match up the offense with the pitching whenever he's on the mound.
Yeah. Now he got hit a little bit, and then Statzer came in, and I think Eshawn's guys scored.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, he did. And then Will Springer came in and finished the game.
Yeah.
And he looked good. He looked fine.
Yeah, he's been getting stronger as the season has moved on. I mean, kind of early in the season, he was just kind of a midweek guy, and he's had a couple big opportunities in the last couple series, and so far he's been doing enough. And he's kind of unconventional. He's got kind of a sidearm delivery, and doesn't throw the hardest, but good kind of change up guy as opposed to some of the just like straight hard throwers. So good to see him get out there and kind of limit the damage.
Yeah, so just so you guys know, in the 7th inning, it was tied 1-1, and then Wolfpack scored 7 runs in the 7th, and that's what broke it wide open. Final score was 8-4. Now, Nico Mitchell, he went 3 for 5 with a triple.
Mm-hmm.
He looked okay, but other than that, I mean, you had Bobby Blanford and Ben Newton had your ribbies, but once again, we're still working on the bats. It's you start Friday night. You would think the bats are swinging because your ace is on the mound. We're going to help him out. He's going to put us in a good position. And 6 innings, 1 run. That's, in my opinion, a good position. And then, but we could only get 1 across as well. So, we do this, and then Saturday and Sunday, we'll get to it, but we couldn't miss. We're getting hits all over the place.
Yeah.
So, the next day on Saturday, we win the game 14-6, have 15 hits, and Grady Morgan hits a homer. Bobby Blanford hits a homer. Blanford also had a triple. Hopfy had a triple. Hopfy also had 2 doubles. By the way, Blanford won Mountain West Player of the Week, I believe.
That's right. Yeah.
So he had a good day. I mean, Saturday they wake up. Hopfy and Blanford went nuts.
Yeah, about time, and good timing too, because it was a good kind of bounce back game for Roman Angelo. I mean, last week against New Mexico, he got roughed up pretty good. I think he gave up 10 or 11 runs. So what wasn't his best performance on Saturday, but it was enough. Got 5 innings out of him, only gave up 5 runs, and thankfully the offense did enough to give a very comfortable cushion for the Bulldog pitching staff.
And Jack Anchor got a 4-inning save.
Yeah, that's huge too. I mean, eating up innings, and Anchor's been a really good young arm too. I think he's a freshman, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So that's good for long term for this team. Kind of building up and getting some experience early, and I think we can look to him to probably be a weekend starter next year, just based off of how much he's being used and how much he's improved over the whole season.
Really quick, Caleb, could you look up Mountain West standings if you haven't already?
I got them. Yeah.
Beautiful. Okay, I just want to try and get ahead of the curve here. Then game 3 on Sunday, Dogs score 14 runs again.
Yeah.
And
on 21 hits. I mean, I think that's got to be the most hits on the season.
I mean, they looked great. Trevor Garcia got the start and the win. Gave up 6 earned. And then we saw Ariola pitch 2 innings. And Hopfy came in and got his 9th save of the season, a 2-inning save. And then bats-wise, my goodness. You said it, dude. These guys went crazy. Ben Newton went 4 for 4 with 3 ribbies. And Piricello had a bomb. Blanford had a bomb. Blanford had another triple. Newton had a triple. And then let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 doubles in this game as well, and 2 sack flies, which equals 21 hits. Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I think this was good too, just based on like the offense making things happen on their own. I know that a lot of times this team's had to rely on grinding out walks, hit by pitch, pass ball, kind of doing a little small ball scoring. But I mean, this Sunday game, 21 hits, the guys are putting the ball in play, and I think that's good for momentum for these last this last conference series, and then hopefully into the conference tournament. Just they need to be able to be offensive on offense, if that makes sense. Like just actually hit the ball and give the offense a chance to do something. So yeah, very encouraging there, and a good performance from Garcia starting and the bullpen too.
Now, the scary part about this game was we were up 8-0.
Yeah.
And then that's when they started to figure out Angelo, and they scored 6 runs. All of a sudden, this game is 8-6 in the 5th.
Mm-hmm.
And luckily, in the 6th, we score 2 runs, go up 10-6, and kept scoring from there, finished the game 14-8. So, I mean, we started out hot. We looked good. I mean, was it 4 scoreless innings? Or no, 3 scoreless innings. They scored 1 in the 4th.
Mm-hmm.
And our bats were flying. If we just keep our pitching staff hot, we're going to be okay.
Mm-hmm.
Because I mean, even having to score 9 runs to win a game, that's tough. So I mean, we gave up 8, but because our bats were hot, I believe we are. Okay, we might have to, if things are wrong, correct me on this. 24-23 overall, 13-14 in the Mountain West, and you
Correct.
can hit our standings. If you want.
Mm-hmm. And thankfully, the Dogs are done playing at elevation, which has kind of been just brutal for this team and the schedule the last 3 or 4 weeks. So thankfully, we're done there. And yeah, Dogs coming home for. There are 2 homestands left. The final series is non-conference, so this one this weekend against UNLV. Super important. So yeah, like you said, the Dogs currently overall 24-23. It's kind of interesting. I mean, in the Mountain West Conference, there's only 2 teams that are above 500. It's Fresno State and New Mexico. So Fresno State's, in 4th, and New Mexico dropped down to 5th place. They dropped a couple games to UNLV there, so that definitely helped out the Dogs.
That's big.
What they have coming up. So yeah, San Diego State and Air Force are kind of neck and neck for the top 2 spots, and San Jose State's right behind there. So pretty much those 3 teams, unless something catastrophic happens there, they're pretty much locked in at those first. They're the top 3 places for the conference tournament. So it pretty much is coming down to Fresno State and New Mexico here with who's going to clinch that 4th seed. And unfortunately for the Dogs, New Mexico has the tiebreaker. So if the Bulldogs and the Lobos end up tying with the same conference record, then it's tough luck for the Dogs, and the Lobos are getting that seed. So, the good thing is that, New Mexico does finish against San Diego State, who's in first place in the conference.
Come on, Aztecs.
Exactly.
We're cheering for the Aztecs this weekend.
Yeah, so New Mexico has Nevada at home this week, which Nevada is the worst team in the conference, who the Dogs just played and roughed up a little bit. So you got to think, and they have 4 games because they have 1 that they're making up. So, I mean, you got to think that they're probably going to get 3 wins there. I would think, hopefully, the Wolfpack can put up a fight and maybe steal a couple. And then, yeah, it's going to come down to San Diego State, and the Dogs are really going to need some help there. And also do some work on their own. They really need to get at least 2 wins this week against UNLV.
Yeah. Sweep would be nice, but 2 will work. Unfortunately, we have to rely on other teams. So we do what we can and then hope for the best. Okay, basketball news. There's a couple basketball things we got to touch on before we get out of here, Caleb. Fresno State added 2 more players out of the transfer portal. A guard, his name's Jaylen Weaver. Now, you'll read that he's from Nevada, so I believe his freshman year he played at Nevada. Then he went to junior college in Utah, and now he is back with playing in Fresno. He is I'm pulling up his stuff. Actually, let me get to the next guy. Pierre Genesti. He is a center out of La Tech. Young guy, originally from Haiti. So, and he's 6'11", 215. Played a little bit. Not much. He only averaged 2.5 points a game. I think his most action he ever saw was 15 minutes in the game, where he went 9.7 rebounds against a pretty poor team. Weaver was ranked high out of high school. Nevada's got a good team. Mountain West is a great basketball school, so I know it's tough to get playing time. In the basketball world, it's weird. And with the transfer portal, it's absolutely insane. But he did appear in 11 games as a true freshman at Nevada. And then he went to Salt Lake City College. That's okay. So I got that Utah right. And he averaged 10.5 points a game there. shooting 56% from the field. I'm happy with whoever comes in. I think the production level there's a lot of potential there from the offensive production level with these two players.
Yeah. I think it's good if we can get another experienced scorer. I think that's, something that this team lacked a little bit last year. And, just having guys that are able to create their own opportunities to score. I mean, that's going to be huge. The center pickup here, it's like we're becoming some training ground for these inexperienced foreign transfers who just can't get enough play. Yeah, and so it'll be interesting to see how he kind of gels with the other big guys that we have, and hopefully Andre continues to develop, because I mean that's kind of what we saw or what we knew of Andre coming in from Nebraska. It's like, well, he's a big guy, from overseas, didn't get much playing time. And so, definitely still raw in potential. So I know I haven't, watched any film on, this La Tech transfer yet, but you have to imagine maybe a little still raw in skill set, but I think one of the things we struggled with last year too was depth on, with the big man. So, now that we hopefully have 4 guys that are maybe able to rotate in, I think should be helpful for this team, and really exciting. And so hopefully, this team can stay healthy and, gel together. And I'm excited for it. But what do you think?
I mean, with Genesti coming in, I don't know if that's how you pronounce his name. I could be butchering it. He's 6'11".
Yeah.
Boyaki is 6'10", and then you have Andre and Isatua who are coming back at 6'11" and 6'10".
Mm-hmm.
We have 4 monsters coming back.
Right.
And so here's my question though about this is, we are super athletic, and last season we're very guard oriented. I mean, Andre did work, but very guard oriented, super athletic. And I'm wondering, are we going to see the style of play change a little bit? We went from, shooting at I say high clip, but a high number of 3-pointers and jump shots. Now, are we moving to a different style of offense where we're going to post up and then, force help and then kick to shoot? So we're going to go inside out first rather than out to in. It's very interesting. I like it. I'm not going to argue with it. I love height. I wish I had it. So I should not have been a basketball player. When you're a 6'1" white dude, you go play baseball. I'm a fan, and I'm excited for the basketball team. And I think there's a lot of potential there. And, I want Bulldog basketball to be successful, and, I want there to be a buy-in from the fans, so I know it's tough, but that's what I want to see. So I'm excited. Now there's only one more scholarship remaining, I believe. So we can bring in one more scholarship player. There were questions. People were asking me, do you think we can do it? Because a lot of guys transferred out. Here you go. We're doing it. So, and we heard early on in the season, during the regular season, that they were hitting the transfer portal hard. They were going to hit all transfer portals. So they were ready for this. Green V 559 says we needed a third 5. Yeah. Depth is huge at that position. So now, my only question on, I got to remember Genesti. I think he's got to put on some more weight at 6'11".
Yeah. Like he's thin like Andre.
Yeah, but I think I saw Andre beef up a little bit.
Yeah.
Progressed. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah. So we'll see what happens. It should be fun. There's a lot of promise and a lot of athletes in the basketball program right now. So, anything else, Caleb, on the basketball program and what's going on?
Yeah, I think that about covers it for now. I mean, still, I guess, what's your thought here? Like, the roster is almost rounded out. I mean, that makes me think there's a good chance that Hutt is, sticking around for this year, or at least the administration is going to keep him around, which is kind of where I'm leading. I think, we got the roster 85, 90% complete here. At this point, you got to think for continuity's sake, the coaching staff is going to be kept intact. But what do you think?
I think it's all up in the air right now. I don't know if there's a decision that's been made. That would be my guess. And I don't think when it comes to the players, I don't think it matters. Well, it might matter for the players, some, but I think the guys that are here, they're staying here. They're ready to play. They're focusing on this upcoming season. And the new guys that are coming in it might have more effect on them. If they're building a relationship with the coaching staff and then they leave, that might have an effect on them. But I think the core guys that we have here right now that played last year, they'll be here. But yeah, I mean, I would probably be in the school's best interest if they're putting a roster, if the coaching staff is putting a roster together, that coaching staff is putting to keep them together, keep everybody together. We need to win games, though. I mean, that's the nature of the business.
Totally.
From a coaching perspective, you got to win games. So, whenever they have their meeting, maybe they've already had it, and they talk about records and things like that. I mean, hey, Huts won 20 games twice in a year. Granted, one year was because they entered the CBI, but you can't. It's hard to argue a 21 season. So,
yep.
I'm gonna ride or die with this team, whoever's at the helm, and I'm cheering for the boys. I want the best for them. I'm excited for them because I know Isaiah Hill's coming back, and I like him at the one. I do too. He can control the game, and with Andre coming back, that there's a lot of production just between Hill, with Zay Hill and Andre coming back. So I'm excited to see, and Donovan Yap is going to be there as well. So, and now we have 4 bigs. So, I think the roster's coming together, and with guys like Xavier Dussel from Wyoming coming in, the best player from Utah Tech. I don't remember his name. I got to remember these guys' names.
Yeah.
But there's good players coming in, and a lot. There's a lot of athleticism that's coming in as well. So,
yep.
Now the coaching staff needs to put together and go win basketball games.
Yep. And they have all summer practice, which is great.
So no, I'm excited. A lot of stuff going on. We will be continuing to talk about football as much as we can. Guys in the NFL, we're going to keep up with them, how they're doing in camp. And then of course, basketball, see if we get that one last scholarship, and baseball coming down to the wire. If you don't know, you can watch the games on the Mountain West Network app. I'm sure everybody that listens here knows that because you are all diehards. And be sure to check those out, or we may see you there. I'm planning on getting to one of those games. Reminder, June 17th, Bucket Golf. Grab your tickets at bewareofbulldogs.com. Click on shop merch. They're in there. We have snacks, wine, playing with an iron or a wedge, hitting into a 5-gallon bucket or at a 5-gallon bucket. You just got to hit it. Caleb and I will be, I'm going to be competing against you guys. And I've been practicing. I saw the fantasy football dudes. They're coming. They're putting a team together. They've been practicing. So it should be fun. Bewareofbulldogs.com. Grab your tickets over there in the merch section. And we started a Discord, Beware Bulldogs Discord. So feel free to hop in there, chat, leave a bunch of stuff, invite all your friends. And then the one thing I ask of you is to tell one person about Beware of Bulldogs podcast. It helps us out a lot. And if you haven't left a 5-star review, go and leave that, and we'll read it. We used to do that, Caleb, but we haven't done that.
Right. Yeah.
Throw it out
we
there
need
right
to
now.
We need to get back on reading our reviews on Apple.
Maybe, I don't know. I'm scared to look. My audio has been pretty bad the past couple episodes. Well, I hope you had a wonderful weekend and your Monday was great. And I mean, we're going to be talking. If you have anything to talk about for Fresno State the rest of this week, let us know. We're happy to interact with you guys. We're huge Bulldog fans. Stay safe, stay healthy. God bless. And as always, go Dogs.
Go Dogs.